So in the case of this wound weight scheme, according to the first rule, that is if Ts of Ti is less than Ts of Tj, what that means? Ti is older than Tj, and if Ti is waiting for Tj, that means whenever the boulder is waiting for younger, what does this weight die scheme suggest is just abort the younger and give the requested logs or the needed logs to older. So according to the first rule, whenever timestamp of Ti is less than timestamp of Tj, that is if Ti is older than Tj and the older is waiting for younger, just simply the rule suggests that abort the younger and give the requested logs to the older, such that the older is allowed to complete first before the younger. That is the first rule. So according to the second rule, in the case of the second rule also, if Ts of Ti is less than Ts of Tj, what that indicates? In this case also, Ti is older than Tj, and now Tj is waiting for Ti. Tj is waiting for Ti. What that means? If younger is waiting for older, whenever the younger is waiting for older, we will just allow the younger to wait for older to release the logs. So this is about wound weight scheme. So in the case of wound weight scheme, just simply the rule says that whenever the older is waiting for the younger, we will just abort the younger and the requested logs are given for the older, such that the older will complete before the younger. So whenever the younger is waiting for the older, we will just allow the younger to wait for older to release the log in the case of your wound die scheme. So we will now compare the two types of schemes, that is weight die and just end slide icon blank button. Now we will see the differences between weight die and wound weight scheme in simple manner. First point is older transaction is allowed to wait for younger transaction here. Whenever the older is waiting for younger, abort younger and complete older before younger. So as a second rule, in the case of your weight die scheme, whenever the younger is waiting for older, we just need to abort the younger to prevent the deadlock. So in the case of your wound weight scheme, if the younger is waiting for the older, we will just allow the younger transaction to wait for older transaction to release the logs. ఇది కింద మళ్ళీ మళ్ళీ చెప్పుకుందాం లేదంటే ఈ 2 పాయింట్స్ వద్దా కింద క్రాప్ చేయొచ్చు అంటారా డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ వెయిట్ డై స్కీమ్ అండ్ wound weight scheme. Now we'll see one another important concepts in database management system, that is crash recovery or transaction recovery. Now we'll see how the transaction recovery will be done or the DBMS is able to do the recovery management. So before going to the topic in depth, let us discuss about what is the meaning of system crash. What is the meaning of system crash? The system crash can occur in the case of any hardware failure or software failure or the catastrophic failure has been occurred, then the system is unable to perform in the normal mode, then that type of situation is called as system crash. So in the cases of either the hardware failure or the software failure or the catastrophic failures, the catastrophic failures comes under the case of natural disasters, just like as the తుఫాన్ ఏమంటారండి తుఫాన్ ఏమంటారు catastrophic failures just like as cyclones, earthquakes and floods. In that type of situations, whenever the system is unable to function in the normal mode, then such scenario is called as system crash. So whenever the system has crashed, then the database may be in inconsistent state or it is in the middle of execution of some transactions. So the meaning of crash recovery is crash recovery or recovery management done by the DBMS can be defined as the process of restoring the database to the consistent state whatever it was before the crash occurs to the same state or the valid state even after the system crash occurred. That process is called as crash recovery or recovery management. So what is the meaning of crash recovery or recovery management? The process of restoring the database to the previous state in which it was before the occurrence of system crash. So even after the system crash also, the database should be preserved in the same consistent state or in the same valid state. That process can be defined as crash recovery or recovery management. It is one of the major role or one of the major responsibility of your database management system. Now we'll see how the DBMS is able to do the crash recovery in detail. In order to do the crash recovery, majorly the database management system uses one type of data structure that is called as log file by using a protocol that is called as WAL protocol. WAL protocol. What is the meaning of WAL is write ahead log protocol. This protocol is basically used in order to do the transaction recovery or crash recovery. What is the meaning of WAL is, as its name suggests, before, ahead of any operation to be done on the database, actually that operation needed to be returned to your log file. What is the meaning of WAL? Before any operation you are doing, on the database, first that operation should be recorded or written to your log file. So first, what is a log file? Just like as another type of files, it is a storage area or it is a collection of records. A log file can be defined as collection of records that are stored permanently onto the secondary storage devices which can survive during the crashes also. Which can survive during the crashes also. So that is the meaning of log file. What is a log file? Just like as the ordinary files, a log file is also a collection of records or log records which are permanently stored to your secondary storage devices, and that log file can survive during the crashes also. What is the meaning of that statement? Even the system crash occurred, the contents of the log files will be preserved. They will not be lost. Likewise, we will keep the log file storage. That is about log file. So while coming to the WAL protocol, before we are doing any operation on the database, first that operation should be recorded to your log file saying that we are doing this type of operation onto the database at this amount of time. We are doing this type of operation on the database at this amount of time. Likewise, we are writing each and everything in the type of log book. We are recording each and every action in terms of log file before actually we are applying to your database. So the type of log record is this one. The contents of log records are this one. It consisting of 3 fields. What are the 3 fields? Previous LSN, transaction ID and type. So before doing this one, before discussing this one, we will say about LSN. What is the meaning of LSN? LSN stands for log sequence number. Log sequence number, which gives the sequence numbers to the log records in the serial manner as it has been started. For the first log record, we are giving the unique ID, that is 1, followed by the second. For the second log record, we are giving the another serial number, that is 2. Likewise, for each and every log record, we will allocate some unique ID serially. That unique ID will called as LSN, log sequence number of that particular record. So the first record starts with the log sequence number 1. For our understanding, actually they will be having the hexadecimal addresses that are stored in your secondary memory, but for our understanding purpose, we are taking the LSN in terms of decimal numbers. So the first LSN starts with 1, the second log record starts with the LSN 2, the third record starts with the LSN 3, the fourth record starts with the LSN 4. Likewise, for each and every log record, we are allocating the unique number or unique ID that is called as the LSN of that log record. So that is about LSN. So while coming for the log record format, it consisting of 3 fields. What are the 3 fields? Previous LSN, that indicates it is a pointer to the previous log record of the current log record. The next field is TID, stands for transaction ID, that indicates what is the transaction that is doing the current operation. That transaction number will be recorded in the second field. While coming for the third field, we are going to write about the types of log records. What is the type of the log record, or what is the type of action that is being done, that is indicated by the means of the third field, that is about type of the log record. We will see now what is the meaning of that type field. అదే ఉంచున్నాను అదే So before we see an example of log file, we will discuss about what is the meaning of your checkpoint. The meaning of checkpoint is it just indicates the starting point of the log file. The starting point of log file at current moment. At current moment. For example, now I have started to return the log file. So whatever may be the previous log records that are kept in the log file, all that log records must be taken care, and all the processing of that records is over. I can delete the previous records and I can start as a fresh of my log file. That point can be called as a checkpoint. So for example, previously I have written some 55 log records, and all of that 55 log records have been processed. They have been taken care. We should not do anything. All the audit regarding all of that 55 log records is over. I can start as a fresh my log file. That point is called as the checkpoint or save point. So if I have created a new save point here, what is the meaning of new save point is, new checkpoint is, all the previous records have been taken care. I can successfully delete all the records from the memory. Why this deletion is important is, we can do several types of actions. If we continuously store all that actions in terms of log file, it can enormously increasing in size. So definitely we should remove some of the files or some of the records from the log file. So whenever all the actions have been taken care, we time to time we can delete all that records from the log file. Whenever all of that log records have been deleted, we can create the new checkpoints from the new start, which indicates the new starting point from our log file. That new starting point is called as a checkpoint. So we should give the new checkpoints to create the new log file, such that all the previous log records have been taken and all of that records can be permanently deleted from your system, such that we can give the new space for your new records. That is about checkpoints. So with this error, we will see one example of our log file which indicates all the types of log records by taking one schedule now. So now consider, for example, a schedule that have been given as T1 of R of A, T2 of W of B, T1 of W of A, T1 of W of C, T1 commit. Next, T2 R of A, T2 R of B. Next, T2 abort. So this is my schedule which gives the execution order of actions from different transactions. If you clearly observe the schedule, what are the list of actions that are available? How many transactions are there? 2 transactions are there. The first action is T1 read on A. The second action is T2 write on B. The third action is T1 write on A. The fourth one is T1 write on C. Fifth one is commit of T1. The sixth one is read on A by T2. Seventh one is read on B by T2. The last action is abort of transaction T2. So as already we have said before, in the transaction management, for facilitating the transaction recovery or the system recovery, the DBMS is utilizing log file while using WAL protocol. What is WAL protocol? Write ahead log protocol. So before doing any action, first the transaction should write one corresponding log record to your log file. Now we'll see for this schedule what are the types of log records that are being written. So we'll see. So here I have started a new checkpoint C1. As already you know, all the previous log records have been taken care. Now I am starting from this as a new log file. So I can give the log sequence number LSN here. That is first for the first action. What is the first action? T1 read on A. We cannot write any type of log record for the reading action. We can write the log records only for the purpose of doing update, commit, abort, and as well as undoing an update. So we'll not write log record for the first action. So we'll go for the second action. What is the second action? T2 write on B. So it is an update done by the transaction T2. So we should definitely write one log record. What is the type of log record? Update type of log record. See what are the fields as already you know. Previous LSN, transaction ID, and the last field is type of the log record. So as because it is the first log record, the previous LSN for this one is null. What is the transaction that is doing this one? Transaction T2. And what is the type here? The type is update. Okay, now. So this is about one log record. This is one log record which is having the LSN as 1, previous LSN as null. The transaction ID done who written this log record is transaction T2, and the transaction wish to do update operation for this action. So for the next action, what is the next action? Write on A. So for that one also we should write one log record. What is the next LSN? 2. What is the previous LSN? It points to the previous one, that is 2. What is the transaction ID? T1. What is the type here? That is also update. Okay, now. So what is the next one? For the fourth action also we should write one another log record, that is 3. Its previous LSN is 2. What is the transaction? That is previous LSN is 1 here. What is the transaction doing that update? Transaction T1. What is the type? That is update on which data item? C. This is update on A. This is update on B. Okay, now. So what is the fourth log record? We'll consider the next action. What is the next action? That is T1 commit. For the commit action also we should write one log record whose LSN is 4, whose previous LSN is 3. What is the transaction? That is T1. What is the type of record we should write? Commit type of record we should write. And after that, what is the next action in my schedule? The next action is T2 read on A. For the read operation, it's not readed to record in the log file. So we'll go for the next action. What is the next action? T2 read on B. So for this one also we should never write the log record. What is the next action? Abort of T2. So what is the next one? For the fifth one, we should write one log record. The previous LSN is 4. The transaction ID is T2. What is the type of record? Abort log record. So likewise, before doing any action actually onto the database, either write operation or commit or end operation, we should write one type of record to your log file. Likewise, consisting of 3 mandatory fields, that as previous LSN, transaction ID and type. Hope you understand up to now. Okay. Chapda next. Okay. Slide. Start next slide.
Slide.
అనాలిసిస్ పేజ్ ఉంది చూసారా, 3 పేజీలు. Now we'll see an algorithm which is used in order to do the transaction recovery, that is familiarly known as Aries algorithm. This Aries algorithm consisting of 3 phases which will facilitate to do the transaction recovery. That 3 phases are analysis phase, redo phase and undo phase. If you have completed all of these 3 phases, definitely the transactions will be recovered after the system crash. I will discuss these 3 phases in detail by considering the log file, page table and transaction table which can be used while using this Aries algorithm. So the first phase is analysis phase. As its name indicates, what is the meaning of analysis phase? It tries to analyze the dirty pages available during the system crash. So during the analysis phase, the Aries algorithm tries to analyze or identify what are the dirty pages available in your database at the point of time of system crash. First you should observe that what is the meaning of dirty page. So in order to understand the meaning of dirty pages, let us discuss some another 2 important data structures that can be used in doing the transaction recovery. The data structures are page table and transaction table. Page table and transaction table. So in order to discuss this page table, transaction table and all of these 3 phases, analysis phase, redo phase and undo phase also, we should write as previously the log file, as well as we should take some of the example now. So consider this as my schedule. As because you already know, it's not needed to consider the read operations. I am doing only the write operations. T1 write of A, T2 write on C, T1 write of B, T3 write on A, T1 commit, T2 write on B, and next T2 commit and T3 abort. As already you know, for each and every operation we should write one log record. For that purpose I am maintaining the log file here. As already you know, the log file consisting of LSN, previous LSN, the transaction ID and the type of log record. So for the first action we should write one log file. The LSN is 1, as because it is the first log record, the previous LSN is null. What is the transaction ID? T1. What is the type? Update. So for the second log record, the previous LSN is 1, that is T2, it is also update. Third one is 2, T1, that is also update. The fourth log record is previous LSN is 3, transaction ID is T3 and that is also update. And here I am writing the log file continuation, the LSN previous LSN, transaction ID and type. The next LSN continuation is 5. What is the previous LSN? 4. The transaction ID is T1 and commit. And next 6. Previous LSN is 5. T2 update. Next, for example, at this point of time, the transaction T1 commit is over. I can write T1 end. What is the meaning of T1? If the T1 has written the end record, the commit action is also completed. Next, what is the next one? T2 update. Next, T2 commit. This is 7th. T2 commit. For the last action T3 abort, I am writing the log record as LSN 9, previous LSN 8. The transaction ID is T3 and the action is abort. So for each and every action, I have written the log records. Madam, pen ఒక నిమిషం ఇది కొట్టేసుకొని నీట్గా. I have written all the log records correspondingly. For the first action T1 update, for the second action T2 update, T1 update, T3 update, T1 commit, T2 update, T1 end, T2 commit and T3 abort. So we have written the log file according to the WAL protocol also. So now we will see how does that page table is being constructed and how does that transaction table is constructed. The page table consisting of two entries, that is page ID and rec LSN, as well as the transaction table is also consisting of two entries or two columns, that are transaction ID and most recent LSN. Now we'll see for this corresponding schedule how this page table is being filled up and how does the transaction table is filled up. So before discussing about this page table, we will recall from your understanding or knowledge of your computer organization. You already know all of your data items will be permanently recorded in your secondary memory as a collection of pages, and in the case of your operating system you already know how that paging will be done. So I'll escape all that concepts for simplicity now. So one simple point you must understand here is all of your data items in your database are being stored in your secondary memory as a collection of pages, as a collection of pages. So if for example for running of this database, what are the transactions available? T1 and T2 and T3 is also available. And what are the data items that are available? A, B, C. So my database for this example consisting of the data items as A, B and C. Let us imagine that the item A has been stored in the page number 10 and item B has been stored in the page number 8 and the item C has been stored in the page number 6. But actually the page numbers are also given the hexadecimal addresses, but for our simple understanding we are assuming or we are imagining that the page numbers are in the decimal format. The data item A has been stored in page 10, the data item B has been stored in page 8 and the data item C has been stored in page 6. Actually the page numbers are also the hexadecimal addresses, but for simplicity we are imagining likewise. So for this scenario, now we'll see how that page table is being constructed. The page ID consisting of an entry for each and every page in the secondary memory, which consisting of the data items. So as you see in this example, what are the pages that are available? Page 10, page 8 and page 6. So I'll make an entry for each and every pages now. First page, page 10, page 8 and page 6. So that is about page ID column. The next column in the page table is rec LSN. The rec LSN indicates the LSN of the log record, the LSN of the log record which makes this page dirty for the first time. So the rec LSN indicates the LSN of the log record which has made this page as dirty for the first time. That log record number has to be given as the rec LSN. What is the meaning of dirty page? Dirty page means which has recorded some updates, but that updates have not been permanently stored. That type of page is being called as dirty page. So for simplicity, all of the pages are now dirty pages before actually written to the database. So all P10, P8, P6 are dirty pages. Now see what is a transaction or what is a log record that has done the first update on A. See this log file. What is the first update done on A? The first update done on A by transaction T1, that is update on A. The second one is update on C. This is update on B. Next, fourth one is update on A. Fifth one is commit. Sixth one is update on B. And so these are the types of updates. So what is the first update? We are having two updates on A. We are having two updates on B. And we are having one update on C also. Okay. So by seeing this one, what is the first update on A? The first update on A is this one. What is that LSN? 1. So I'll write here the page 10 rec LSN is 1, which has made that page as dirty page. So likewise page 8 consisting of the item B. What log record has made an update on the data item B for the first time? This one. So what is that LSN? 3. So now I record here rec LSN as 3. So for the page 6, what is the data item C? For the data item C, what is the first update? That is the record 2. I will write the rec LSN as 2. Likewise, I will create the page table. The page table consisting of two entries, that are page ID and rec LSN. The page ID consisting of one entry for each and every page, which consisting of data items. The rec LSN indicates the log record number which made that page as the dirty page for the first time. That is about page table. So coming to the transaction table, the transaction table consisting of the two entries as transaction ID and most rec LSN. The transaction ID consisting of one entry for each and every current active transactions. So if you see the log table, how many transactions are there? 3 transactions. I will make entry for T1, T2 and T3 for the 3 transactions. So while coming for the second column, that is most recent LSN, as its name indicates, what is the most recent log record? LSN of most recent log record written by the transaction. So T1 most recent LSN is what is the most recent record that written by the transaction. What is the last record? That is 7. So I'll make it here as a 7. So while coming for the T2, what is the last record? That is 8. I'll write the most recent LSN of T2 as 8. So while coming for T3, what is the most recent record written by T3? That is 9. Likewise, I will complete the page table and transaction table. So for doing the crash recovery, the essential things or essential data structures that are being maintained are page table, transaction table and log file, and we have seen how that page table is being created, how the transaction table is being created and how that log file is being created. Now we'll come to our actual algorithm, that is Aries algorithm, which consisting of the 3 phases now. Okay. Now you'll see the first phase of your Aries algorithm. that is analysis phase. As its name indicates, it analyzes or identifies the transactions to be redone under redo list, the transactions to be undone under undo list. What is the meaning of redo list? Redo list is list of transactions whose actions need to be redone. That list of transactions are called as, come under the category of redo list. What is the meaning of transactions that are come under the category of redone? The transactions which have been committed but not have been ended. That means they wish to do the commit, but the action of commit is not completed at the time of system of cache. So we again need to do the commit action. We need to repeat all of the actions of the transactions, so that come under the category of redo list. So what is the meaning of redo list? The transactions which have been committed but not have been ended comes under the category of redo list. So what is the meaning of redo list? The transactions, the committed transactions at the point of time of system crash, whose actions needed to be redone again after the system has been recovered. All the transactions comes under the category of redo list. So what is the next list? Next list is undo list. Undo list is list of transactions. మా నీకు కొంచెం సౌండ్ తగ్గించమని చెప్పమ్మా, అటు పక్కెళ్ళి మాట్లాడమని చెప్పు. List of transactions whose actions need to be undone after the system crash. That means whatever may be the transactions that are in the uncommitted state at the point of time of system crash, all the transactions will leave the database in the inconsistent state. So in order to recover to the consistent state again, all of that actions of that uncommitted transactions needed to be undone. So that list of transactions need to be maintained under the category of undo list. So the preparation of redo list and undo list can be done by means of that analysis phase. As its name indicates, the analysis phase identifies what are the active committed transactions and what are the aborted transactions at the time of point of system crash. That identification will be done by means of your analysis phase. So with this one, now you'll see for this example what is the redo list and what is the undo list now. వద్దు ఇదా ఓకే పాస్.
స్టాప్ చేసాను అందరూ స్టాప్ అంటే ఏమంటే మళ్ళీ ఇంకొక వీడియో ఇక్కడ మనం పాస్ చేయాల్సిన వీడియోనా.
So for this example, in order to prepare the redo list, so try to identify what are the committed transactions that are available. You'll see the log file now. While seeing the log file, the T1 has written the most recent record of T1. We need to consider the transaction table in order to prepare the redo list and undo list. So for the first entry T1, what is the most recent LSN? The most recent LSN is end. As because the T1 has written the end log record, all of its actions have been permanently recorded to your secondary storage. So we need not bother about T1 now. All of its actions have been completed before the system crash itself. So while coming for the second entry T2, what is the most recent LSN of T2? That is 8. So see, what is the type of record of T2 now? Commit. T2 last action is commit but not has been ended. That identifies it is the committed transaction it needs to redo after the system crash. So under the redo list, T2 comes now. So in order to prepare the redo list and undo list, we need to analyze the transaction table. Each and every entry, what is the most recent record? If the most recent record is end, the transaction process is over. We need not consider recording the transaction. So for the T2 file, coming for the transaction T2, its last record is commit but not has been ended. We should redo all of the actions of that committed transaction. So the transaction comes under the category of redo list. So for the third transaction T3, what is the last record? 9. So what is the type of 9? It is abort. For the T3, as because it is about a transaction at the time of system crash, it comes under the category of undo list. All of its actions need to be undone after the system crash. So it comes under the category of undo list. So T3 comes under the category of undo list. T1 process is over. So this preparation of redo list and undo list will be done by the analysis phase, and I have for this example the redo list is only one transaction, that is T2. The undo list is only one transaction, that is T3. So now the analysis phase is over. This redo list will be given for the second phase, that is redo phase, and the undo list will be given for the third phase, that is undo phase. That completes your crash recovery process. Now we'll see how that redo phase can be conducted for this example now. చిరాగ్గా ఉంది పొద్దు నుంచి టిఫిన్ చేయాలి ఇది అయిపోయింది ఓకే నౌ విల్ సీ వాట్ ఈస్ అబౌట్ ద సెకండ్ ఫేజ్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ ఏరీస్ అల్గారిథం. ద సెకండ్ phase of your Aries algorithm is redo phase. As its name indicates, in the case of your redo phase, we will redo all the actions of committed transactions in the order in which they have been originally recorded. So in the redo phase, we will redo all the actions of committed transactions. The list of committed transactions comes from the redo list from the analysis phase. For all of the transactions, all the actions will be redone in the order in which they have been originally done or recorded to your log file. That is about redo phase. Now we'll see how that redo phase is completed regarding this example now. Madam konsepu aachestara? Okay na? As you already see from the analysis phase, what is the redo list for this example? The redo list is T2. So all the actions of T2 have to be redone again in the original order. What are the actions of the T2 must be identified from the log file by seeing each and every one. So what are the log records written by T2? That is 2 and 6 and after that 8. So 1, 2 and 8 log records should be again returned to your log file once again by giving another LSN, that is 10. For what is the first one? It's not 1, it is 2. What are the LSNs? 2. And what is the next log record written by T2? That is 6. And the next log record is 8. So all of the actions of this log records must be redone. So before redoing also, we should write one another log record. That is, next one is 10. What is the second action? The previous one is 9. That is T2. It is update. For the this one, sixth one also I am writing one another log file. That is 11. ఓకే కింద రాసినాలండి. సో for redoing this one also, we should write one another log records. So for what is the second log record, it is update done by T2. For that one also I should write one log record. What is the next sequence number? That is 10, previous is 9, the transaction is T2, the type is update. For the next one, 6th, it is an update done by T2. For that one also I should write one another log record, whose LSN is 11, previous is 10, T2, the type is update. The last one is 8. What is 8th log record? It is commit. For doing that action also I should write one another log record, that is 12. Previous one is 11 and that is T2 and commit. So all of these actions are completed and the T2 is committed, then I can write it as end if the system crash has not occurred. So once again if any system crash has been occurred, we will do the analysis phase. T2 has been ended. That is about redo phase. So in order to redo all of the actions done by transaction T2, we have listed actions of all of the transaction, and for each and every action also, before redoing them also, I should write one corresponding log record before actually implementing that type of action. That is about your redo phase. Okay, now we'll see how the undo phase will be committed and how the undo phase is going to be implemented. That is the third phase of your Harris algorithm. Now we'll see the third phase of your Harris algorithm. The third phase of your Harris algorithm is undo phase. As its name indicates, in this undo phase, we should cancel all the actions of uncommitted transactions at the time of crash in the reverse order of their actual occurrence. So during the undo phase, as its name indicates, we should cancel or undo all the actions of uncommitted transactions. The list of uncommitted transaction is being given as the undo list from your analysis phase, is already we know. By seeing that undo list, all of the actions of that transactions should be undone or cancelled in the reverse order in which actually they have been occurred. That is about your undo phase. Now we'll see how that undo phase is going to be completed for this example. So as already we have seen, the undo list for this example given by the analysis phase is T3, which has been aborted, which is incomplete at the point of time of system crash. Now we should cancel or abort, we should undo all the actions of the T3 in the reverse order. For doing the reverse order, we will see what is the most recent action of T3. From that one we will see phase by phase. What is the last action? That is T3 abort is not, we should not consider. What is the last action? That is fourth record, as because it is consisting of only one action, we should undo that one. If any some another action is there, that need to be undone in the next manner. So what is the record that need to be undone? Fourth record done by T3. If any some of the records, that is 2 has been also been written by T3, for example, if second log record is also written by T3, for simplicity, the actions needed to be undone in this order. The undone order is fourth log record should be undone first and the second log record should be undone next. The action should be undone in the reverse order of the actual occurrence. So that is 4 first and next 2. So before undoing all of that actions also, we should write one type of log record. That is the fifth type, as already we have learned, that is undo and update. Undoing and update. So in order to cancel the fourth log record, now I'll write one log record now here regarding the undo phase. What is the next log record in sequence number? Already we have completed 13. The next one is 14. What is the previous lesson? 13. What is the transaction that is undoing? T3. What is the type here? Undo update. That means we are undoing an update written by T3 now. What is that undoing? We now cancel the actions of 4 first. Next we should cancel the actions of 2 first. That is about your undo phase. If meanwhile during the undo phase also some type of crash occurs, so again we should do the analysis phase starting from the current checkpoint. So again we should start again from the analysis phase, redo phase and undo phase. All of that actions are going to be again once again implemented. So this is about your Aries algorithm. We'll conclude the Aries algorithm consisting of 3 phases. The first phase of your Aries algorithm is analysis phase, which identifies the committed transactions and the uncommitted transactions and the dirty pages available at the point of time of system recover, at the point of time of system crash, and it gives the undo list and redo list. So while coming for the second phase, that is redo phase, during the redo phase we need to redone or actually again repeat all the actions of the transactions which have been committed at the point of time of crash but not have been undid. That is about redo phase. So the third phase, in the undo phase, we need to cancel or undo all the actions of the transactions that are uncommitted at the point of time of crash, and we need to undo the actions in the reverse order. That is about your Aries algorithm. And if you implement this Aries algorithm, all of these 3 phases, definitely the system recovery is going to be done by means of your DBMS. This is how the transaction recovery will be implemented by means of your database management system.